This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's blog, Zalma on Insurance. Today we're going to talk about why a conviction for health insurance fraud was affirmed by a court and why a physician who conspired with a gentleman by the name of Bonavilla to effect health insurance fraud caused the problems faced by the state. Davin Bonavilla was involved in an insurance fraud scheme as an executive of Free Choice Healthcare. The scheme targeted indigent patients, often on government-assisted insurance, Medi-Cal or Medicaid, convincing them to switch to group insurance policies obtained by Free Choice. Patients were falsely represented as employees of sham companies, the Drexel Group or Kingmakers, to qualify for these policies. In the People versus Bonavilla, the 4th District, 2nd Division of the California Court of Appeal on October 9, 2025, found that people identified as patients of Bonavilla and Free Choice Healthcare signed documents, often without understanding them, making them employees of Bonavilla's companies. Payroll services issued fake paychecks to patients, which were actually deposited into company accounts by a co-conspirator with the power of attorney. Dr. Upheld, a pain management doctor, agreed to pay Free Choice 30 to 35% of the insurance claims he collected for procedures performed on these patients. Insurance companies would not have issued policies had they known the true facts. Patients were not employees, and there were illegal waivers of copays and deductibles and kickbacks. Dr. Upheld paid Bonavilla and Free Choice via large checks totaling over $442,000, representing the agreed kickbacks. These transactions formed the basis for the money laundering charges. Patients did not receive actual employment or paychecks. Treatments did not change after switching insurance. The main difference was billing location and insurance coverage. The appellate court applied a deferential standard. It reviews the records in the light most favorable to the judgment, asking if any rational trier of fact could have found the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The elements of the crime of fraud require a knowing presentation of a false claim for health benefits and specific intent to defraud. Substantial evidence, according to the Court of Appeals, showed Bonavilla aided and abetted Dr. Upheld in submitting fraudulent claims by misrepresenting patient employment status. The elements of the crime of solicitation to commit insurance fraud requires knowingly or recklessly soliciting, accepting, or referring a client intending to file a fraudulent claim. And the elements of the crime of conspiracy to commit insurance fraud requires an agreement between two or more persons with a specific intent to agree and to commit the offense and an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Circumstantial evidence, conduct, relationship, activities supported the existence of a conspiracy. And then there is the element of the crime of money laundering, which requires conducting transactions over $5,000 through financial institutions with intent to promote criminal activity or knowing the funds are proceeds of a crime. The record evidence showed Bonavilla conducted financial transactions with knowledge they were proceeds of an insurance fraud. In conclusion, the appellate court affirmed Bonavilla's convictions for conspiracy to commit insurance fraud, solicitation to commit insurance fraud, and money laundering. The court found substantial evidence supporting each conviction and rejected Bonavilla's arguments regarding the sufficiency of the evidence, including that defendant aided and abetted Dr. Upheld in presenting fraudulent claims for health benefits to 3 insurance companies, HealthNet, United Healthcare, and Aetna, with the specific intent to defraud the insurers. Defendant and Dr. Iqbal targeted unsophisticated patients, some of whom had difficulty reading English. Patients were given a packet of documents and urged to complete the forms quickly and sign where indicated. The patients testified they trusted Dr. Iqbal and signed the forms without reading them or asking what they were agreeing to. The defendant then submitted the applications on behalf of Free Choice and obtained group health insurance policies for those patients based on false representations. The patients were eligible employees. They did nothing. The goal of the scheme to enroll patients in group insurance plans was for Dr. Iqbal to bill for more services and earn more for himself and defendant Bonavilla. Dr. Iqbal agreed to pay the defendant and Free Choice 30 to 35% of the fees he eventually collected from the insurers for those free services. Insurance fraud, in my opinion, especially health insurance fraud, is rampant and a means of keeping health insurance from people who are truly in need, only to enrich criminals and physicians who have forgotten the oaths they took when they became physicians. Working with Bonavilla, Dr. Iqbal and others deceived and hurt the patients rather than provided actual needed medical attention. The California Court of Appeals decided properly to affirm the convictions and let Mr. Bonavilla spend a lot of his life in jail. This video was adapted from my blog, Zalma on Insurance. You can subscribe to the blog, and if you do, you'll receive notice of every blog posting, usually 5 or 6 a week, and you'll also gain access to the more than 5,200 blog postings. Please tell your friends and colleagues about the blog and the videos on Rumble and YouTube, and you can also subscribe to them. They're all free. And if you're interested in further detail about insurance, insurance claims, insurance fraud, and insurance law, please consider for a small fee subscribing to my Substack publications. Thank you for your attention.